And hello everyone again, Christopher Dillard here with the Conduit and the Community Spotlight here on another broadcast. I'm so honored, so delighted, can't even believe I'm sitting across from this man of God in this moment, in this time in history, but here we are and I'm thankful for it. Let me tell you who this is. This is a native of Greenville, South Carolina, a 1985 graduate of J.L. Mann High School. After graduation, he went into the United States Air Force and served for 4 years. He attended the Morris College School of Religion of Greenville Extension. He attended North Greenville University, where he earned his Master in Divinity degree from the M. Christopher White School of Divinity at Garden Webb. He serves as pastor of Valley Brook Outreach Baptist Church right here in Pelzer, South Carolina since 1993. Man.
Yes, sir.
He is a former South Carolina State Overseer of the Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship. And he's a graduate of the Diversity Leadership Academy of Furman University. He is the founder of, I'm sure, one of his greatest accomplishments to date. He is the founder and chairman of the MLK Dream Weekend that celebrates the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. He spearheaded that. He founded that. And I am talking to the one and only Pastor Curtis Johnson right here in Greenville, South Carolina.
Bless you, brother. Thank
you, man. I just want you to look
at
this. I just want you to look at him, because if you want to know what healing and health and restoration looks like, you need to take a great look at this man of God here.
Bless you, brother. Thank you, man.
Pastor, we're so delighted to just even be able to sit and talk to you right here in this form and this platform. Now, you got to take us back.
Yes, sir.
You got to take us back, because even when you licensed me years ago to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, you were a motor running even then.
Yes, sir.
There was no slowing down with Pastor Curtis Johnson. Everybody knew he ran. He ran. I don't think he ever stopped. Never remember him being sick at all. I mean, you're talking about a competitor, whether it's what is it, bowling, whether it's spades or whatever. The man is a competitor. I mean, that's his nature. That's who he is. So there was no slowing down with Pastor Curtis Johnson. So when this thing happened with you back February 21st, I believe it was, of the year of 2023.
Yes, sir.
Can you take us back and let us know exactly what happened that morning, what you felt, or that afternoon? I'm not sure what time of day it was. Tell us what happened and what you felt, what was going on. Take us back.
Wow, brother. First of all, I want to say thank you, man.
Yes,
thank
sir.
you for reaching out to us and having the opportunity, man, to
Yes, sir.
share this with you. As you said, I've never been sick a day in my life, outside of probably maybe the flu one time or 1 or 2 times, and maybe COVID a little bit. And honestly, at that time, back in on Christmas weekend the year before, in 2022,
okay,
the temperature had dropped down so low till I was really concerned about homeless families and children. So we created, with my group, Pastors United for Action, we created the Winter Emergency Housing Fund.
Yes, sir.
And we were trying to get homeless families off the street, got cars for people, some jobs for people, from places to stay, etc. We got up to about 25 families or so that we were able to help.
Yes, sir.
I didn't realize that plus some other things that I was doing was actually stressing my body.
Wow.
I didn't realize it.
Wow.
Because I've always been, as you said, I've always been running, always been busy, always been juggling a lot of things.
Yes, sir.
And I thought that when you love what you do,
man,
it won't stress you. But your body doesn't interpret it that way.
That's right.
I don't blame what happened to me on that, but there were contributing factors.
Sure.
To that Sunday morning prior, because this February 21st is on a Tuesday.
Okay.
That Sunday morning, I had preached just like normal. I went back and greeted my people after the service. And then when I got home, I felt some heartburn. And I asked my wife for some Tums. She gave them to me. After a while, it kind of subsided. The next day, around the same time, I felt a little heartburn again. And Tums, and it subsided. This Tuesday morning, I just got off an insurance business call. Hung up the phone, and all of a sudden I felt this
Oh man.
It was a more severe indigestion is what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought it was heartburn.
Yeah.
But it was just more severe than the previous 2 days, to the point where it made me actually grunt. Oh,
wow.
And I got up for a minute and kind of walked upstairs because I was getting ready to get dressed for a dental appointment.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked upstairs and I literally, whoa,
Oh,
cried out. It was just a little bit more severe. It was more severe.
Were you thinking at the time heart attack?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I thought it was indigestion.
Okay.
I started sweating a little bit, and so I went and got some water. My son was there. He said, "Daddy, you okay?" I said, "I'm fine, son. I'm gonna be okay." Mm-hmm. And what my intention was once I got the water and maybe it would subside a little bit, I'd go lay down.
Yeah.
Had I laid down,
man, whew.
the doctor told me I may not have woke up.
Man,
I may not have woke up because as a man, you don't just run to the doctor every time,
right?
Especially if it's something, it's not that major. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst pain ever, I felt maybe a 7, maybe 7, maybe 6.5, 7, maybe 7.5. It just was not that severe to me. But I decided instead of laying down, I'll go ahead and take a shower and get dressed and head to my appointment.
Yeah.
While I'm on the road to the appointment,
wow,
I started feeling this thing intensifying a little bit. One of the persons who was working with me with our Winter Emergency Housing Fund called me about a family. And I'm on the phone talking to her, trying to resolve this issue with this family. Yeah. On my way to the dentist office. When I got there to the orthodontist, by that time I decided I think I'm gonna do this appointment. I need to get this checked out. So I walked into the orthodontist appointment, and the lady never saw me before. She turned around and the first thing she said is, "Are you all right?" I don't know what was on my face.
Wow.
I don't know what was on my face.
Wow.
But I said, I'm going to need to reschedule. Is there an urgent care anywhere close to there? She told me where it was. I had to go find it. And so what happened was when I walked in there, there was a lady at the counter, and I'm standing behind her waiting my turn to sign in. And then I start feeling a tingling coming down my arm. Yeah. And I'm thinking I was going to urgent care just to get a stronger prescription. Yeah. Yeah. There's no way I was thinking heart attack.
Wow.
So when I got there, I told her, I said, I have this strange kind of chest pain. And she said, the lady in front of me said, "Let him go ahead of me. Just let him go." I went back there. They hooked me up, checked me out, said my blood pressure was sky high. I have never in my life had high blood pressure.
Wow.
I've always had athletes' blood pressure. Yeah. And so she hooked up the ECG or whatever, checked it out. And she came back and she said, "I've called an ambulance for you to take you to ER. You are actively having a heart attack right now."
Oh my goodness. Right then, her checking you out. Right. You were having a heart attack.
She said, "You are having a heart." I'm like, "I'm not having a heart attack." Wow. I'm trying to let them know it's not that serious. Man. When you're thinking heart attack, you're thinking like Fred Sanford, you know what I'm saying? And
all over, yeah.
Like I'm just thinking it's going to be major pain.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, I text my wife, I text some of my partners. They think I'm having a heart attack. It's cool. I'm going to be fine. But they're sending an ambulance to take me over to ER. Don't sweat it. I'm sure it's not that serious. That's what I sent to everybody. Yeah. But as soon as I got to ER, they took me off the ambulance, took me straight up to OR to go into immediate surgery.
My goodness.
The doctor said, "We found 5 blockages." I ain't done nothing but the ECG, and I guess they did some stuff on the ambulance. Yeah. And once they got in there, they found that there was 6 blockages. They found another one. And what they call the widowmaker artery was 95% closed.
Wow.
I was literally operating off 5% of my heart.
Oh my goodness.
And they said that I got there just in time.
So from that point, them getting you into surgery and you next waking up, when you woke up, what were your thoughts when you woke? When did you wake up after surgery?
That's what's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
It was around 12:30 or so when I'm getting prepped for surgery. And, you know, I started counting down. I mean, my wife in there, she actually recorded the entire conversation. I didn't know until weeks later.
Wow.
She recorded our conversation inside of the OR. And we're joking and laughing, man. I'm like, take a picture of me smiling so everybody know I'm gonna be fine.
I'm all right.
I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm honestly, and neither one of us had any fear whatsoever. But around 12:30 is, I guess, when the surgery started. I woke up at 6 o'clock the next morning.
Oh my goodness.
So it was a good 18-hour sleep.
Wow.
And when I woke up, and I'm in ICU with all the tubes and all this stuff coming up, and I had no idea what was going on.
Wow.
I had no idea of what I had gone through. They had to take the stuff up the tubes out of my mouth and begin to tell me, you just went through a 6-hour, 6 bypass emergency heart surgery.
My goodness.
I got all this all over my chest. I got all these tubes. I have never imagined myself ever having to go through anything like that.
That was a picture your wife put up with the tubes and the wires and all that. And I'm like, I wonder if he remembered that all of the wires.
Bro,
hooked up.
When she showed me that picture, I get emotional now. She showed me that I had the surgery. That was all on Tuesday when I had the surgery. She didn't show me that picture until Saturday.
Wow.
I had never known it existed. When she showed me that picture, I broke down and cried.
Oh, man.
I busted out crying.
Wow. I
could not imagine. And here's what's crazy. The nurse practitioner that was working with her at that time, he said, he tried to prepare her for when she go into that room to see me. He said that he's going to have yellowish skin, and his brain will be swollen.
Man.
So just get prepared.
Yeah.
When she walked in there, she said, your skin wasn't yellow. There was no swelling. You just looked like you were sleeping. So she took the picture. All I can say is by the grace of God. And here's what's another thing that's crazy. I have to give God the glory in the midst of all of this, because the nurse practitioner said, I've been doing this for 20 plus years. I've never seen this well a recovery from that kind of surgery.
Wow.
In 20 plus years. This is all I can say, God, man.
I can say, how do you explain that? You can't explain that.
By the grace of God, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I was in ICU, I don't want to jump ahead of your questions.
No, you're fine.
About 3 or 4 days after being in ICU, I'm laying there, and about 3 or 4 in the morning, the ICU nurses were there's about 5 or 6 of them in my room.
Yeah.
And I just woke up and I asked my nurse, I'm like, what's going on? Is something wrong? He said, no. He said, they came from all over ICU just to look at your charts, because we've never seen recovery like this before.
Wow.
And this 3 or 4 days, I'm like, God, man, all I can tell y'all is God carried me through that entire experience, man. And they were ready to send me home from ICU after a 6 bypass emergency heart surgery in 4 days.
I think that's the thing that has gotten me. First of all, I've heard of triple bypass.
Yeah.
But I have never in my life, of my 54 years of being on this earth, heard of a 6 bypass.
I hadn't either. I didn't even know I had 6 2 bypass. I didn't know about 6 what?
6 I was shocked when I said, wait a minute, I've heard of triple.
I've heard of triple. I've heard of quadruple, but I have never heard of 6. I didn't know what to call it.
Right.
It's a sextuple, sextuple bypass. And I'm hearing that's the most complicated surgery. That's the most complicated heart surgery, because they literally had to take my heart out of my body in order to facilitate the surgery. But they were going to send me home after 4 days. I told them I'm not ready to go home yet. I don't know how to be sick, man. I'm not good at being sick. I've never done this before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. I said I don't think I'm ready. So they didn't have any rooms or whatever in the hotel in the hospital. So they kept me 2 more days, and then they sent me home. But they were about to they said my recovery had gone so well, they were about to send me home in 4 days. And I'm like, I'm praising God, but I'm like, don't push me out there.
Right. Don't make me go home. Because you knew in yourself, if you had gone back home, you probably would have picked right back up and started being Pastor Curtis Johnson when you didn't need to be Pastor Curtis.
Bro, well, I'll tell you what, I'll tell you what slowed me down, what slowed me down from all of that.
Yeah.
In order to facilitate the surgery, they had to take 4 veins from my right leg and 2 veins from my left leg to facilitate the 6 bypass.
Whew.
That is probably the most pain that I've had.
Wow.
To this day, my chest hasn't hurt.
Wow.
To this day, I have never had pain from my navel up.
Wow, man.
But my legs,
Mm-hmm.
just trying to readjust to walking took me 3 weeks.
Okay.
To get my walking back, because it's the pain of rising up and sitting back down with those veins missing. Man,
Sure.
That was probably the worst pain that I remember experiencing.
That is just absolutely amazing, man. Your wife posted, she said, Grand Rising, friends, many of you have been made aware Pastor Curtis Johnson suffered a heart attack. This was on February 24th. And immediately taken to the hospital. The doctors discovered that an extensive surgery was needed to unblock several arteries, but there was no damage to his heart. She has been your absolute trooper in this, man. I'm telling you, from her posts, from her being by your side, I tell you what, if you don't know you have a good wife,
let me tell you something.
After that right there, tell us.
That's the next thing that would get me emotional, bro.
Oh yeah.
Way because
man,
my wife and I had just gone through a major trauma with our youngest son.
Yes.
Back in October. And it was, her that because I was out of town at that time. She called me, she held everything down.
Mm-hmm.
And then when this happened with me, let me tell you, Charla is a rock, man.
Yes, sir.
She is a queen. She is the epitome of a queen.
Yes, sir.
The way she stood by me, I've told her over and over again over these 35 years that we've been married, you will not regret standing by my side.
Wow. Woo.
I've said that for 35 years. You won't regret it.
Wow.
I'm the rest of my life, I'm indebted.
Yes, sir.
To make sure she is the happiest woman that she can be.
Yes,
that's my desire.
Yeah.
The way she stood by me, man, and my family, and help the church stay together, because our church went through.
Yeah.
That was an incredible week. We lost Brother George Smith. Two days after that.
Wow.
And so it was.
Wow.
There was so much going on, and for the church family that stood by me. I know you didn't ask that question, but my God, the way that they went through so much that week.
Yeah.
To see their pastor go down and one of the pillars of the church to go down in the same week, and it was just a lot.
Yeah.
But my wife and our people, man, it means something. It means something to have somebody that stands by you.
Come on now. Come on. Let's call out these names of those closest to you. Your friend, I know, good friend for life, Sharon Gentry, Philip Baldwin, Dr. James Nesbitt, Pastor Renee Glenn, W. O'Shea Granger, all of these folk, Elder Felicia Speed, Minister Joanne Smith, Minister Michael Bunn, who has served in this church so faithfully, Lisa Epps Wallace. These are just a few of the names of people that really stepped up to the plate, man, and just really carried you on. And you just said it. All these relationships, all these people, you don't realize how important they are until you go through something like this.
Again, man, I'm gonna have to take these glasses off.
I'm sorry, we ain't trying to make you emotional.
I'm trying to tell you, man.
We ain't trying to make,
but the way,
man,
my brothers and my sisters carried us through that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to express my appreciation. I mean, the care, the concern. I mean, there's so many people. I got people sending, churches sent me checks.
Wow.
$500 from this place, $500 from this place. And I'm like, I'm not even that pastor.
Yeah.
But those pastors, man, I mean, Bishop Charles J.J. Jackson, bro.
Wow.
Pastor Willie Choice, Pastor Terry King. I see, I'm about to mess up, man. But I'm talking about, these are folk that sent checks from their church out of the blue. And other people, man, Bishop Sharon Gentry, man, the way he got people from all over, pastors, and he began to line up, him and Elder Speed worked together on lining up preachers to stand in the pulpit while I'm out of there. Pastor Renee Glenn came. I mean, so many, and they came and accepted no honorarium on a Sunday morning. Came away from their churches to minister, and it was just so much, man. I could go on and on and on. And on. But the love that this community showed me, social media, pastors, churches, friends, brothers and sisters, I can't say thank you enough.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's talk about something that I was made aware of. I don't think I knew. If my wife had told me, it totally left my mind. But that shortly after this, you had suffered another health scare. Tell us what happened with that briefly. What happened?
I had annual checkups.
Yeah.
And shortly after this heart experience,
Mm-hmm.
I was having a hard time, normal urination, etc.
Yeah.
And I didn't have my normal medication, and I needed a refill. And I decided, because my doctors were so full, they didn't have any time soon that I could go see them.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally Googled for a urologist to go check out.
Okay.
And he was 2 miles from my house,
Mm-hmm.
right there in Malden. I went there. This guy decided to take a test and said that there was something unusual in my blood.
Mm.
They needed to check it out a bit more.
Yeah.
Wanted to do an MRI. MRI said there's something unusual. It could be cancer, but we don't know for sure. We'll need to check it out a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I never said a word to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So a little later, I had to do what was called a biopsy. I had to do a biopsy.
Yeah.
And then the results of that, he called me, and I said, you need to let you know you do have aggressive cells.
Wow.
Cancer, prostate cancer cells, and we're going to need to do surgery. He said my suggestion is to do surgery immediately, as soon as possible. But I had to wait 6 weeks after the biopsy before I could have the surgery. So at the end of August, I had prostate surgery. So it was aggressive prostate cancer. And so, just being honest, it caught me by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still recovering from the heart situation.
Right.
And then we have this. But I will say that there were other options you could have done other than the surgery. But I'm the kind of person like, look, if y'all need to get something out of my body, get it out. What you're not going to do is just let cancer just sit down in my body then grow and then grow. And then later on, I got a situation that I can't handle.
Right.
So I would rather get it out of me now.
Right.
While I'm in the midst of recovery, I'll be okay. Just get it out of my system.
I agree.
And and so that's what happened, man. And I mean, the surgery went well. I mean, that recovery was a lot different, a lot more challenging than the heart recovery, I think. But man, I feel great, bro.
You look great, man. I'm telling you, look great. You don't look like a brother has been through really all that right there.
Man.
Pastor Johnson, this is what I want to ask you, because I know your heart for people. I know how you try to do so much, reaching out, trying to take care of your people, and sometimes we can let ourselves go. But I want to ask you, how do you move differently now with ministry, with people, with yourself, to make sure numero uno has to be taken care of first? How do you move differently now?
Well, I think one of the advantages of people being made aware of what I went through is that they don't expect as much out of me now.
Oh, okay.
And they don't demand as much. Now I'm still a goer. I'm still busy, but I'm a lot more sensitive to what's. And so I'm not going to. I don't have the capacity to entertain foolishness.
Come on now.
Okay. I don't have the capacity to try to appease people.
Right.
Even though all my heart has always been for people, I still have things that I want to do for the people. But I will never. I promise my wife. I look at that picture every once in a while of me laying in that hospital, in that ICU. And that picture keeps me from ever allowing myself to get that busy and that stressed, to where I'm not, even mindful of the effect that it's having on my body.
Right.
So listen, my peace is my priority.
There you go. Yeah.
My peace is my priority for me and for my family and for the ministry. So I have no problem saying no. I have no problem pushing things back away and reprioritizing my agenda. So I can do this, I can do that, but This is what I'm not going to do. This is what we're not going to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
So I'm good. But again, people understand, and people actually challenge me. They like, you don't need to be doing. You know what I'm saying? They're telling me you need to go home and sit down. You know
Right.
So I mean, I've been covered and I've been blessed with that.
Tell us about your preaching now, because I know you preach hard. You preach. You know you always really. The black church, the hooping is a thing. And so if you don't know what hooping is, Google it. But, I mean, you're a hard preacher. So how has that, do you get scared when you first come back? Let's talk about when you first come back after all this and you preach and you're like, Lord, do I go all in, or do I do it halfway, or how do I preach? How do you preach now?
I still ain't got no sense, man. I ain't got, my people get more scared than I get.
Yeah,
so they just have this look on their face when I get going. They're like, Pastor, you really don't have to do that.
Right.
But no, by the time I got back up into the pulpit, I was ready to go.
Okay.
I mean, the surgery was in February. I got back up into the pulpit the first Sunday in June. Okay.
Wow.
And my people were like, you really don't need to do this. You know what I'm saying? They're looking at me sideways if I'm singing, I'm trying to go, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But and then of course I didn't know that I had cancer in my body at that time. And then
Wow.
As soon as I found that part out, I immediately told them, okay, y'all. All right, so y'all stood by me through this. I got to go through this now.
That's right.
So then I was out another month and a half.
Wow.
From that, but oh God, the way the church family stood by me, man. So to answer your question, yeah, I ain't got no sense. I still ain't. My heart attack ain't took away my sense. Right. It ain't gave me no more sense.
Right.
But no, I still give it my best, man.
You know what? I want you to help some of our African American brothers who are afraid to go to the doctor.
Oh, bro.
They worried about exams. They worried about having the finger stuck somewhere to get them checked out. Man, you know, sometimes you got to get over all that.
Yeah.
And you got to take care of yourself. What can you impart into our brothers about how we need to better take care of ourselves?
The first thing I say is this, and I've been saying this since my heart experience. Bro, when you know something is not right in your body,
come on,
don't ignore it.
Right.
I ain't talking about something a little small here and there, but I'm talking about when you know there's something just not right in your body, and particularly in those areas that have that where the vital organs are.
Oh yeah.
Pay attention to that, bro.
Yeah.
You would rather be inconvenienced,
oh man,
than in trouble.
Yeah.
I'll just say it that way. Get it checked out. You would feel better. I've had a lot of brothers, man, since this experience. They appreciated seeing my testimony because they'd be inboxing me, bro. When I read that, next day I set an appointment. I found out I had boom.
Look at that.
Only because they were inspired to go. I'm like every other brother. I don't like to go to no doctor, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, now I am sensitive enough, that if something ain't right, I'm getting it checked out, because what I ain't got time for is for something to be wrong and it's going to continue to nag me and then hinder me from the things I got to do.
Right.
So if there's something that's not right, we're going to get it fixed.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But who likes to go to the doctor? You know what I'm saying? So, bruh, I'm just going to say, pay attention to your body. And I'm 57 years old. You get in these late 40s, these 50s, and all up in these years right here.
Man.
Pay attention to everything about your body, bruh.
Yeah.
Get yourself checked out. Don't worry about that finger, all of that. We talking about they have other ways of testing you.
Right.
They can do blood tests and find out a lot of things. And don't be scared of needles. Come on, bro.
Right.
Don't be scared of needles, man. Yeah, it ain't. You know what I'm saying? But it's nothing. I can thank God that he graced me to be fearless through this stuff. I ain't trying to be. It's not that I'm boasting anything, but when you know there's something wrong and it's got to be made right, do what you got to do.
Do what you got to do.
You know what I'm saying? And so, okay, the doctor told me we're gonna have to do that. Hey, bro, whatever y'all got to do, do. If you need to go in there and get stuff, get. If you got extra stuff in there that you done found out, get it out too. If you saw some extra stuff that I don't need, so absolutely. But no, seriously, I'm like, I mean, I ain't got what I don't have time for is is to have some type of gnawing illness or something that's going to drag on and get worse and worse. Because after my experience, there's so many people that I heard about, well-known people that died from prostate cancer.
Wow.
And I could imagine it's because they didn't want to get no surgery. They don't want to do this and do all that. Bro, I'm just going to say this, man. Don't live under the impression that you can't be yourself, etc. Okay, just don't live with that. Okay, right. I'm just speaking brother to brother. You feel where I'm coming from. Okay, do not fear as if you can't be yourself after the surgery. It takes a minute to recover. Come on, get yourself back, but you can get back, bro.
That's right.
You can get back if you catch it in time. Now, if we just ignore it and don't ever go get treatment,
just sitting at the house and just letting it get worse,
you could end up in stage 3, stage 4 before you ever get checked out, and then it's too far for them to do much about it.
Right.
And then they got to do a whole different route. So it's good to stay on top of your annual examinations. It's good to have, if they're gonna find it early. Yeah. Rather than find it late when it's too late to do anything about it.
Right. That's good. That's good information. Pastor, this has been so great, so rich, man. I know you have blessed the people, the hearers in this. We appreciate you so much. But as we come to a close, I got to ask about your parents, Mama Sadie, Deacon Johnson. I know this probably took them on a roller coaster ride also, but tell us how they're doing and where they are and how this affected them with you going through this. Because I mean, you're the son, man, and you going through this. So how are they doing and how has this affected them?
Man, my parents are one, they're amazing. They're, my dad's 82, my mom is 77. They're up in age now, so they move a little slower. But their faith remains strong.
Oh yeah.
My mother said that when my son called her and told what was going on with me, my mother said, because she stayed calm through the call.
Yeah.
And then as soon as she hung up, all she said was Jesus. And the anointing overwhelmed her with peace.
Wow.
She never had a worry from that day to this day.
Wow, man.
In that moment, just the anointing of the name of Jesus gave her peace. And her as well as my father. Now, my sister Darlene is also battling cancer. We didn't know we had cancer in our families, but she's undergone major surgery.
Yeah.
And so my parents have had both their children battling cancer at the same time.
My God.
And they've never, my father had colon cancer some years ago, but that's not something that has been prevalent in our family. So this is kind of new.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, man, they're doing well. Again, arthritis is a beast.
Yes, it is.
So they're moving a little slow, but they're still moving. My grandfather used to say they're kicking, but not high. They're still kicking though.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the last thing, man, as we bring this to a close, Pastor, I want to know what's on the horizon for Curtis Johnson Ministries. What's on the horizon for Valley Brook Outreach Baptist Church?
Wow.
Oh, we're talking 10, 20 years down the road, man. What does it look like? Do you look that far? Do you ask God to help you look that far, or are you? What does it look like?
Thank you for asking that question. I'll just say this. As I shared with you my passion to get homeless families off the street.
Yes.
God has blessed us with 24 acres on this property.
Yes, sir.
2 acres at our old property we still own. Wow. Without going into a lot of detail, let's just say that I believe the Lord preserved my life.
My God.
For this next chapter.
Woo!
What we're getting ready to do, I had to go through what I went through.
Come on.
To center me and to focus me on the next phase of this ministry.
Wow.
So we're working on something that will be huge for our ministry.
Yes, sir.
And it's going to bless a lot of families, a lot of our community, and those people who have had a hard time, getting on their feet. Those who feel like they don't have enough income to get a place to stay or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
That's something cooking.
Yeah.
That's something cooking that and the process is already began.
Thank God.
So yeah, it's some big stuff on.
We in some tumultuous times, and we ain't gonna get political. We in some tumultuous times, and now more than ever, our people, our churches have to stand together because we're gonna have to take care of our people.
Well,
that's a whole nother 30 minutes.
Listen, let me tell you something. That what you just said, has been my heart. Again, I'm blessed to lead a group of pastors called Pastors United for Action, and we do a lot of our work behind the scenes.
Okay.
A lot of times people don't see us out front. Doesn't mean we're not working.
Right.
But we're strategizing, we're planning, we're bringing some community leaders together to address various issues.
Sure.
And if there ever was a time that we as Black folk need to stand together.
Come on now.
Take care of each other. Support each other's businesses, support each other's aspirations. We ain't got time to be hating each other.
Absolutely.
We ain't got time to be jealous of each other.
Man.
It's time to say, what do you bring to the table? What can I bring? What can we bring to the table? Let's put some strategy together. That's going to help out. Because I'm going to tell you something. For God dealt with me back in 2017. I was the chairman of the board of SHARE. And I know how the community development block grants work. That funds Head Start. It funds LIHEAP, which is the low income heating and energy program assistance program. So many different things that are connected to federal funding.
Sure.
I knew then that it was going to be a day when this is going to get cut.
Woo!
When this going to start, it's going to affect everybody who's dependent on federal funds. God dealt with me then about creating something like an economic, I use the word economic infrastructure.
Wow.
And I just didn't know how to start. I tried different things. We created a little group of businesses. We brought together Catalyst, myself, Bishop, Dr. Philip Baldwin, Dr. James Nesbitt. We worked together to create some things, as well as some of our team members, etc. To create a Black business directory we did back in, with Netta Williams and Nikki Williams and Jackie Haygood. I just felt like we needed to do something. Then COVID hit and it kind of slowed us down a little bit. But now, whatever we can do to help our people become less dependent on government, that's what we better do. I don't trust anything that's happening in Washington, D.C. right now.
Yes, sir.
And our destiny cannot be left in their hands.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
It's on us.
Right.
It's time for us to possess. It's time for us to work together. It's time for us to move together. So yeah, like you said, that can be another 30 minutes.
That's a whole other 30 minutes.
I got a whole lot to talk about with that, bro.
You see that fire come out?
I'm trying to tell you, it's still in there.
We're gonna have to come back and talk about that.
I'm telling you,
Pastor Johnson, man, we appreciate you so much, and we're so glad that you're a picture of health, man, and just so glad where God has brought you. And we're just glad that you're still here.
Bless you, man.
Thank God that you're still serving the ministry, man.
Thank you for the opportunity, man. I appreciate you. Love you as well, man. I really am honored to see you and your family, man. And so God has blessed you all. And thank you for thinking the opportunity, man. I appreciate the opportunity to speak.
Let me just say this in closing. Now, I never heard, even while I was here and training in ministry under Pastor Curtis Johnson, never heard him say a coarse word about anybody, never heard him cuss. And people don't know that was my struggle. Cussing was my struggle. That was my struggle. I'm glad you said you never heard it. I never heard it. Don't mean you never done it, but I'm telling you, I never heard it. Never heard him put down anybody. Never heard him say a bad word about anybody. And that's just the person that he is, man. I never heard him put down people, curse people. Some people are very comfortable in cussing in front of their members, pastors that is. But I never heard that from him. So just a great man of God. Appreciate his heart and just appreciate his family. Continue to pray for him. Continue to pray for Pastor Curtis Johnson. And as we bring this to a close, as I always say, that's a wrap. And thank you again. Please don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Christopher Dillard Media, right there on YouTube. Please go and subscribe when you get there. We appreciate you, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you, guys.